Thank you for purchasing a VERI5000 kit. This is the Qualified User Certification course. So what you'll need to take this course is you'll need the kit sitting with you. You'll have to have the unit and your app set up and something to pull on. An anchorage verification device is designed for proof tests on fall protection and construction anchors, and our kits do both. Proof testing is meant to verify proper anchor installation, and that's why you would proof test, to make sure it's installed properly. So what are we really testing and verifying? We're verifying that the anchor has been installed properly, that the integrity of the material that you've installed it in is proper, and how the anchor and the structure or material work together. The whole idea is that'll give you peace of mind knowing your anchor is installed properly. In order to do that, you need to understand what ANSI Z359 requires for certifying an anchor point for fall protection. Certified means an act or process resulting in documentation that determines and attests to criteria that meet the requirement of the ANSI standard. A certified anchorage is an anchorage for fall arrest, positioning, restraint, or rescue that a qualified person certifies to be capable of supporting the potential forces that be encountered during a fall, or, here's the key, that meet the criteria for a certified anchorage prescribed in these standards. So all you have to do is document that it meets the criteria in this standard. In the minimum requirements for a comprehensive managed fall protection program, 5.422, anchorage selected for fall arrest systems shall have a strength capable of sustaining static loads applied in the directions permitted by the system, of at least 5,000 pounds for non-certified anchorages, or 2 times the maximum arresting force for certified anchorages. The key is right here, permitted by the system. That's the manufacturer of the anchor. So 5,000 pounds is a number that people use for knowing that the strength of the anchor has to hold. But if you want to certify an anchor, it's got to be a 2-to-1 safety factor. Again, certified is an act or process resulting in documentation. Our Bluetooth device prints a report documenting that it meets ANSI. And certified says with a qualified person or that meet the criteria. And again, this test proves that it does. But it's key to understand it's the certified anchorage point, not a certified anchor. The whole anchor isn't certified. At the point where you test it, it would be a certified anchor point. Applied in directions permitted by the system of at least 5,000 pounds for non-certified anchorages, or 2-to-1 safety factor for certified. So 2-to-1 is your number. So it's important understanding the difference between a static load and a dynamic load. Static load is a straight pull, dynamic is a drop. The standard requires a static pull. 2 times the maximum arresting force, very simple. Look at this lanyard. If I tie this above my D-ring and have a 6-foot fall or less, the maximum force is going to be 900 pounds right there. Or if I use a nano, 1,350 pounds. So what you would do, which is right there, is you would take 900 or 1,300 times 2, and that's what you would proof test to. Number 3, applied in directions permitted by the system. The manufacturer does this of the equipment. That manufacturer does a pull, and it's already meeting the ANSI standard. Now the key is you install it. When you do a pull test, you want to do a straight pull. That is the hardest test. It tests the anchor and the material it's installed to. A directional or shear pull, the wall, if I'm pulling down this way, actually assists the anchors in holding onto the concrete, and so do the threads. So the hardest pull is straight out. And again, remember what you're proving here. You're proving that it was installed properly as per the directions. The manufacturer is the one that says it works in directions permitted by the system. So again, there's 2 types of test. The manufacturer's test to prove fitness for prior to sale. That's the one where they test it in the different directions. And then the proof test on installed anchors to check the installation quality. We're doing number 2 with this device. If it's installed properly, and the manufacturer says that the anchor works in multiple directions, you can call it a certified anchor point. So here's the AVD. This is the turning handle. Those can be removed. And you grab them and turn. Or you could take a large wrench and crank on this bolt if those are getting in the way. This is the plunger piston. You want that to be all the way out like that. When that gets low, that means this unit is low on oil. And you need to refill the oil. This is the grip handle. That's where you hold it while you're turning the handles. Hold it here, turn there. This is the clevis. This is designed for fall protection anchors. And then annually, you have to send in your digital gauge or analog gauge for calibration. So you can see that the digital gauge is a little bit more accurate, but they're both extremely accurate. Stroke indicator sits on the side. Before you do the pull, it should sit at 0. So what should we test to? Well, there's really 4 choices. 1,800 pounds is when you use a lanyard, and the max force in the lanyard is 900. 900 times 2 is 1,800. If I use a nano or a small retractable, typically they're 1,350. 1,350 times 2 is 2,700. Or you could be ultra conservative and proof test to 3,600 pounds because the maximum force you could feel in a full body harness is 1,800. 1,800 times 2 is 3,600. The only time you would do 5,000 pounds is if you were testing an anchor horizontally to tie a horizontal lifeline system to it, and you had some form of energy absorber that brought forces down to 2,500, then you would test to 5,000 pounds. When you're changing adapters, this locking adapter is key. It's what the clevis fits into. So all you do is you unscrew that screw and you can pull it out or you can put it in. This is the clevis. If you're over 1/2 inch, you would use a threaded stud adapter and you would take the clevis out and install the threaded stud adapter. They're available in 5/8, 7/8, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 1 inch. And the video that I'm going to show you now shows you both.
Using the slotted button adapters. If not already fitted, mount the locking adapter into the tester. Slot it into the tester jaw and tighten the screw to secure it using the ball driver provided. Then, thread the bolt test adapter into the locking adapter until it is fully engaged, allowing a turn for position. Place the slotted button adapter under the bolt head. Bring the bolt test adapter up to the slotted button adapter and slide in position. Using the threaded button adapter. If not already fitted, mount the locking adapter into the tester. Slot it into the tester jaw and tighten the screw to secure it using the ball driver provided. Then thread the bolt test adapter into the tester body until it is fully engaged, allowing a turn for position. Screw the threaded button adapter onto the fixing thread with the top of the button adapter level with the top of the thread. Bring the bolt tester adapter up to the threaded button adapter and slot into place. Testing can now be started using a threaded stud adapter. If the locking adapter is already fitted, then remove it by loosening the screw using the ball driver provided and remove it from the tester. Screw the threaded stud adapter onto the fixing thread. Place the tester over the adapter, passing the head through the hole in the bridge and engage it in the pulling jaw of the tester. Testing can now be started by application of the load. When testing is finished, release the load and remove the tester. Release the threaded stud adapter.
The key is having the correct bridge height. You have to adjust the legs so that all three are in contact with the base and there's a level on top of the bridge, and that needs to be level. And the stroke indicator right here has to be close to 0 in order to start pulling. There are two types of bridges. One is the standard bridge, which has a width of 4.5 inches, and it goes 7.5 inches up from the ground, which allows you to pull a D-ring. Or you could go with the bigger bridge for higher anchors, which gives you a width of 23 inches and a height of 26.96 inches. This would be for like a roof anchor or a taller anchor that's coming out of the ceiling or coming out of a roof or off a wall. So sometimes your grip or your gauge might get in the way. Just know that there are 2 screws right there that can be adjusted, and then I could turn it. Also, I can remove the turning handles if they're involved in obstruction. Here's a video on handling obstructions.
Working in a confined or restricted space can sometimes impede the operation of the VERI5000. This can be solved by using the integrated nut in the handle. Simply release the handles by using the single wrench supplied and unscrew. Attach the ratchet spanner over the integrated nut and commence testing. Sometimes the legs or other objects will get in the way of the gauge or handle. To rotate the handle, simply loosen the 3 screws on the body using the hex key provided. Rotate until the gauge and handle are in a clear position and then retighten the screws. Testing can now be started.
Every time you use the device, you're going to lose a small droplet of oil. So again, like we discussed earlier, you want the piston to be sitting high. If the piston starts dropping and getting lower, you'll know that you need more oil. So when you're lubricating your operating rod, periodically put oil on the device. You unscrew and remove the handle, and you just put a couple droplets of oil on the rod. Also, you could refill the oil. When you're refilling the oil, just watch this video that we're going to show you now.
Lubrication of the VERI5000. To ensure the smooth and correct working of the tester, it must be lubricated regularly. Unscrew and remove the operating handle by unwinding. Take care to avoid moving the washer and bearing below. Grease the threads and surfaces and reassemble by screwing the handle back on. Oil refilling of the VERI5000. When out of oil, the tester will stop functioning correctly. A lack of oil will be indicated by the plunger stopping close to the edge of the black capsule. To change the oil, first remove any adapters. Then, remove the tester from the bridge by unscrewing the 2 bridge screws from underneath. using the ball driver supplied. Remove the tester. Secure the tester in a vise or other suitable holding device with the coupler in a vertical position. Disconnect the gauge using the quick release coupler. Connect the oil bottle and loosen the bottle cap. Turn the handle anti-clockwise a few turns. Insert the piston key provided in the groove on the piston. Ensure the piston key outer slot is nearer the piston body. Force any air out of the system by pushing the piston in fully and then pull on the piston key until about 10mm or half an inch away from the inside of the slot. This will draw oil from the bottle. Push the piston back in fully, pull out again and repeat until all the air bubbles are expelled into the bottle. The oil is replenished and the piston is about 9/16 of an inch from the face of the body. Remove the oil bottle, reattach the gauge and remove from the vise. Then reattach the bridge.
There's several different kits. This is a combination fall protection and construction kit. It's available in analog and Bluetooth. This is a construction only kit. Both of these go from 0 to 6,700 pounds. We also have a medium duty anchorage verification device that goes from 0 to 11,240 pounds, or a heavy duty kit that goes all the way up to 32,596 pounds. If you are an engineered systems installer and designer, we have a kit designed for that. All you have to do is go to this kit online and watch the video, and it shows you how to use the cable frame testing assembly to pull the cable and make sure it's strong enough. The key to this is proof testing safely. VERI5000 requires the user to read the manual in its entirety prior to the use of the equipment. The user should wear appropriate PPE when performing a proof test. After each proof test, a competent person or competent inspector who's been trained must inspect the equipment for cracking, breaking, or permanent deformation of the structure and the equipment. If the equipment inspector or competent person is inspecting another manufacturer's product that he or she has not been trained on, they must refer to the manufacturer's instruction manual for the proper inspection of the anchor. Some anchors may deform during a proof test and still hold, therefore meeting their intended purpose. Please consult the manufacturer of the anchor with any questions on the product, and as always, remove any deformed anchors from use. When choosing what to proof test to, picking the lowest force that meets the requirements will greatly reduce the risk of breaking, cracking, or deforming anchors. Pulling anchors to the maximum of 5,000 pounds may deform the anchor. VERI5000 and or hydrojaws are not responsible for any damage to the structure being tested. Please watch this video on how to use this piece of equipment properly.
The VERI5000 comes supplied in its own robust carry case with protective filler. Remove the unit and take out the gauge. Attach the gauge using the quick release coupler. Bring the unit up to the fixing to estimate the height required. Adjust the pins in the legs to achieve the required height. Remove the pin and bring the clevis to the fixing. Place the pin through the clevis and click into position. Ensure the unit is balanced using the levels on the bridge. Turn on the Bluetooth digital gauge by pressing P and checking that it reads 0. Switch on the Bluetooth. A blue flashing LED will indicate it is on. Select an existing site or create a new one. Within this site, select a new test. Enter a test name and a test target. Press Start to begin recording the test data. Commence the test by winding the handle clockwise until there is tension. Keep on winding and observe the gauge until the target load is achieved. Allow for some load relaxation. Press Start Timer and keep the load held for 15 seconds, which will be indicated by the green digital counter. When completed, press Stop Timer. Unload the tester and release the clevis. Press Stop Test. A test report will appear with test result, graph and details. These details can be collected into a comprehensive PDF report. Detach the gauge and replace the tester into its box.
Thank you for finishing the hands-on training. Here's the document in writing. Go to resources on our website, click on hands-on training, and you can print this document so that you have it inside your kit. Thank you very much for your time. Now, if you would, take your test, and after you pass the test, you will get a certificate saying you passed.